Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hold On to Dom podcast. I'm your host, Erin, and today we are featuring LeadU with special guest Connor. Hi,
Hey, how you doing, Erin?
good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Do you want to start by introducing yourself and talking about your role with LeadU?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So I'd love to talk a little bit about LeadU and my role. So my role within it is I'm a program manager. That's what I am like on paper. But like which basically means I go to programs a lot. It means that I'm transferring equipment all over the state. But I'm also kind of responsible for a few different things. Like right now we're working on creating a lot of resources to send out and sell on like our teachers pay teachers because with what LeadU is. We're basically an assembly company. So we go and we do these programs in schools. We do them with teachers. We do them with sometimes small businesses, where we're there to kind of we call it upstream suicide prevention, which is basically like we're trying to do everything that we can in order to prevent anyone from getting to that point, that edge of of possibly stepping off the edge and going towards, towards the lake. We want to do everything that we can in order to kind of raise a little bit of awareness towards, uh, you know, how to develop yourself a little bit before any of that happens. So
Yeah,
that's a little bit about it. Yeah.
cool. And how was LeadU created?
So Lead You was created. It was kind of like it's kind of a process. We started in 2016 officially, but the founder JD has been a lifelong friend. So
Oh, cool.
we've been in each other's lives forever. He was actually my oldest brother's like best friend, so he's always around. So when I was out of high school, he was working for this leadership company that did similar things to what we do right now. And then he had the opportunity to kind of take it, and turn it into something that, we both thought it could be much bigger than what it was. So before it was just kind of like leadership camps. We would go, and take students from different schools. We would do like weekend retreats. But we really wanted to do something where we could actually go directly into schools and offer all of that leadership training, all of that community building, all of that respect and tolerance, all of those lessons that we really thought like we need more of this. So started LeadU back in 2016. And since then it was it has been something that's just grown and grown and grown into something that we never would have believed that we could be where we are right now with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's brought us to a lot of cool places, not only in New Jersey, because that's where we got started, but we've been out in Canada. JD's done stuff out in Europe before with through Lead You. We've done
Wow.
weeks in Florida. Like we're working on branching out into New York. We've done made a lot of good connections in Long Island. So it's just this cool thing where it's like, cool, like I like that you guys like what we're doing. I guess it means that like we're doing something right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what is the mission behind Lead You?
So the mission, I'll give you the mission. I'll tell you exactly what it is, and then I can expand upon it.
Okay.
So what we've written is Lead You is a group of teaching artists who provide fun, engaging assemblies that focus on a bunch of different topics like respect, tolerance, leadership, resilience, communication. That's the mission, but honestly, like in this is more like in-house, like the way that we kind of talk about ourselves is like we're an energy company, like, and I don't know, I've listened to a few of your podcasts, so I feel like you'll kind of like get in on this, where it's like the energy that you bring into a room or into, into your own life really resonates. So
Mhm.
like we feel that like we have this, our programs are generally like an hour-ish, where we have this opportunity to like come in full force, like we are just like we it's a school assembly. Like this is usually the best day of like someone of a student's week. It's like
Yeah.
they're getting out of class for an hour. B, Like there's a lot of loud music that's playing right now. You're going to be playing some games. Your teachers are going up there having fun. And like we just want to create this like amazing energy, this amazing feeling so that you can hold on to that and think like that was amazing. I want that to keep going and I want to, be able to take some of these lessons that I learned through these games and stuff like that and bring it into your school. Yeah, so we're an energy company.
I love that. I love that description. That's so cool. So, can you walk us through a typical leadership workshop, like how it's outlined and structured?
Uh yeah, I can kind of yeah, I think the best way to talk about one of our leadership workshops, so we've got like a couple different formats. Like we have the assembly, which is kind of geared more towards like the pre-K to like fifth grade, with different things leveled for those age groups. But our workshop is something else that like we really have focused a lot of attention into because that's where we get to talk directly to and work directly with like sixth, seventh, eighth high schoolers through this sort of format. So it typically starts where there is a lot of music playing. Like there is like before the students even get there, like we've got someone at the door like, yo, like let us know when you start to see some like lines of students coming through because we want to create the energy before you even step into this gym or, multi-purpose room that you're very familiar with, but
Hmm.
we want them to start thinking of like what's going on in there. Like that's like you want to get like right into someone's head immediately of just
Yeah.
like that space that I'm so used to has already changed.
Uh-huh.
So the music's playing and then they're walking in and for like a workshop, they're going to be a sixth and seventh and eighth grader. They're not used to having a lot of freedom. So when we say, hey, go take a chair anywhere you want, we usually have them set up in like a horseshoe kind of shape. Go sit wherever you want. They're just like, what? Like you and then they look at their teacher like, am I allowed to do that? Because they don't get that, they're
Right.
not given enough, of leeway. I taught middle school for years, and honestly, I wouldn't do that with a lot of my students. But it's by so they're walking in, there's all this music. So before it even starts, like it started kind of where the energy, the anticipation, the questions are starting to build up. So then, I'll walk around, the crew's gonna walk around. There's usually like five or six of us that's on crew for the day. Just while everyone's making their way in, fist bumps, how you doing? Short conversation, giving, hyping them up a little bit, letting them know like, hey, I got you out of class for an hour, so you at least got that going on. You got to keep it real. And then once we get started, it's really, um, so we'll run some games about, like we usually start with this game called A Cold Wind Blows. So it's like an icebreaker, really. So it's really our opportunity to kind of get people standing up, moving around, starting little conversations. And the point of it really is we want people to uh, build connections, realize that they have a lot in common with some different statements that we're going to be putting out there. So then we kind of break the ice a little bit, kind of mix them around. Then we get into like the high energy stuff. So the high energy stuff is like our big game. So we've got this one called Coney Island where the teaching point is really about active listening. And the game is really like we'll have a cone set up between one person and another one,
Hmm.
and we'll tell them some different, like body movements. We'll say like, do put your hands on your shoulders, put it on your ears, put it on your head. When I say cone, first person to grab the cone is the winner of that round. So that's where it gets really like,
Uh-huh.
so that active listening is like huge. So
Yeah.
that's our teaching point is to play and then reflect. So you play this game, it's kind of like you're distracting them, with the teaching point. Like
Hmm.
you're not letting them know that like, hey, you're learning something right now.
Right.
So that's our way to kind of get some buy-in because anything competitive with a middle schooler and a high schooler is like it's gonna work.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
like a
and then
competition.
and then we get into and now that we've built a little bit of trust, then it's time to get a little bit deeper. So we do this game called What's on Your Plate? I usually have plates like all over me. I don't have them anywhere in my room right now. Um, but we'll use paper plates. And this is kind of like one of the signature games that we've played, and it works for literally like anybody. Do you have a piece of paper in front of you?
Yes.
Cool. Here. Is it all right if we do like a little mock like version of this game?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So, the game is all about it's I gotta remember my lines right now. So the game is called What's on Your Plate. So what we do is we start to prime everyone with what are some of the responsibilities that you have, things that you have to do every single day. So we'll ask the students like start thinking right now, think of like three or four things from when you wake up in the morning all the way through school to when you get back and when you have to go to sleep. Like what are all the different tasks that you are responsible for that day? So we have them start thinking about that. Then we play some music, nice Italian restaurant music. Um, and we say, "What's on your plate?" So then we challenge them. And we tell them, "Hey, try to write down as many responsibilities as you can within the next minute." So I don't know if you edit these down so we could, if
I
you want to
do.
actually, cool. So like I'll give you 30 seconds.
Okay.
I want you to write a whole list of responsibilities or tasks that you have to complete every single day. And your time begins, hold on. Oh, let's see if I can find this song. I can't find it. All right, your time begins right now. Go for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it as well.
Okay.
All right. So, do you want to share? I'll start just to kind of open the conversation.
Okay.
So, a couple things that I wrote down, like things that I had to do today. Like today, I had to prepare for this podcast. This is my first podcast, so I'm really excited about it.
Awesome.
So prepare for this. I had to feed my cats. I made sure I had a nice healthy breakfast, and I had a couple meetings to do before this. And then I've got plenty more. If I had more time, I could have kept going. How about you? What are some that you wrote down?
Well, I started with the basics of brushing my teeth.
Cool.
And
Hygiene. Yeah, personal hygiene. That's a good one.
and
I
then
just call that list all the things that you do to not smell bad.
and then I said, work out, make a protein shake, shower, make lunch, choreograph because I'm a dance instructor, and then
Oh,
go
nice.
to dance. That's like a typical day. Yeah.
Typical day for you. All right. So that's half of the game right there. So and it's clear that you have a lot on your plate. See where I'm going right now? So you've got a lot of things going on your plate. So sometimes when we have a lot of things on our plate, you could feel really weighed down. It could cause a lot of stress, anxiety. Maybe you feel a little overwhelmed. So that's when we go to the new slide, which is all about, we talk about coping skills. So what are your coping skills? Because sometimes students don't, have the emotional vocabulary to say, like, I have a coping skill. And we basically tell them you do. Like you might not know it, but the things that you do that make you feel less stressed out, things that make you feel less anxious and overwhelmed. So I'll break it down. I'll open it up a little bit. I'll say, some of my coping skills are, as you can tell, I play music, so I've got drums all over the place. I go surfing. I love to listen to music. I love movies. So these are just a few of my coping skills. Or like I'll hang out with my cats, like, keep it just simple.
hmm
Uh, so I'm going to ask you to do this. Flip your page over,
Okay.
and I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. And I would like for you to write down all of the different coping skills that you have, that you can think of, all the things that you do. Basically, what are things you do for fun? Healthy things that you do for fun. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and that begins right now. All right.
Okay.
How'd you do?
Good. I got 5.
That's good. That's great. What are some of the ones that you wrote down?
So journaling,
Cool.
uh, talking to friends, listening to music, planning trips, and planning, well, I mean, this is kind of the same, similar, but planning concerts to attend.
I love that. It's funny that I always liked I liked teaching middle school because I always felt like that was the space where like you really start to develop like into the person that you're going to be for the rest of your life.
hmm
And some of the stuff that you're saying right there, like I hear all the time when we talk to middle schoolers and high schoolers. Like they're talking about the concerts they're going to. They're
Yeah.
talking about sleeping is other major one that I
Oh,
see.
sleeping.
Getting some sleep, journaling. Yeah, so that's like where we want students to start thinking about you've got a lot going on. What do you do to take care of yourself when you feel overwhelmed? And then based off of we once we get through all that, we want to start talking about, hey, like there might be a time in your life where you might not those coping skills don't work. But like
Hmm.
you've tried surfing, skating, you've tried planning these concerts, and like you're still just not feeling like yourself. So then we talk about turning to a trusted adult, and who is that in your life? A person that listens to you, a person that is there to give you advice, and a person who's there that I always tell them it's that person that you want to be like when you grow up. Like that's a really if they don't have one, because sometimes that happens where they feel like, oh crap, like I can't even think of someone. Well, we just remind them that like today is a great day to start thinking about that person or
Hmm.
recruiting these people into your life.
Yeah.
So I don't want some student feeling bad that like, oh, I don't have that. It's like maybe you don't have it yet, and that's okay. Like
Hmm.
you, there's still time. Yeah, so that's our workshop. And then we'll
Awesome.
end with usually another like high energy game, just so that, they end on that high note. It's like me and JD and like everyone we work with really we love music, so it's always great when the band finishes on like that awesome song. Like, you just feel amazing walking out.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
even though coping skills are like incredible and it's an incredible like and thing to know about, but also moving around is amazing too. Like
Yeah.
having like your endorphins going wild is fun.
Right. Yeah. So that is a typical workshop. So
Yeah.
can now you touch on what a school assembly visit is like?
Yeah. So a school assembly it kind of has the same sort of starting point where once we see them like starting to make their way down, get that music going. Like it's always been crucial since we've made a lot of mistakes like growing this over the past 10 years, but music is the one thing that we always knew is like this is important to everything we
Yeah.
do. So music's blasting, and then when the teachers are approaching the gym or wherever we are, there's going to be some crew members at the door, and they are going to be escorting the different classes onto different teams. So we've got six
Oh, cool.
teams, and they're all color coded. So based on the grade or the age that you're in is going to be the team that you're on. So they're already just like, I'm on a team. Like, what? I didn't even try out. Like, what is like? So they're just like, what's going on? There's music playing, and there's all these like guys in whale shirts like walking around. So they're just like that element of surprise like really helps us out,
Yeah.
so once they all get seated, then it's time to like we get them a little hyped up. So we play some like either like Daft Punk or something like some sort of like music to really get everyone clapping and like hands up, and like we're just getting them like dancing, moving. And then everyone takes a seat. Then we just go over rules, and it's all about like I say it, you repeat it back, and everything's like very fast. And there's like even with the workshops too, there's like a sense of like urgency and like immediacy. Like I always start this. I picked this up from JD, our founder, where it's like we don't have a lot of time, so we've got to get right into this. Like
Yeah.
that urgency, is so like exciting. You're just like, oh yeah, like what? I didn't know we didn't have time. Like let's go. So you want them to buy in immediately, and it's fun. It helps. It makes. I mean, once I start saying it, I believe it. So we get right into it. We start going over rules, um, and just to kind of like crowd management stuff, and then we'll get right into a game. So, like with the kindergartners, we've got a game that we've done for years. It's called like Dance to the DJ. It's like a freeze dance type
Oh,
game.
yeah.
We'll play a different song and then they dance, and when it stops, they've got to freeze and they get some points for their team if they freeze first. But then we use that as a way to kind of talk about feelings and really big feelings and what do you do when you have these big feelings. So we'll play a sad song, like that song, "You had a bad day, take it one,"
Yeah.
and the kids are waving, they're fake crying, and then
Oh, that's
and then we'll
awesome.
say freeze, and then we'll give some points out, and then we'll have a crew member acting like over the top sad, like crying. We have one crew member, her name's Cupcake. We all have like different names. Like I'm Cool Pants Connor during these. So we've got a country Mike, we've got all these characters. So like she'll be crying her eyes out and hysterical. I'll drag her across the floor. I'll be like, what's going on? She just it's hysterical. I don't know, I don't know. And then I kind of walk we do this little play thing of like, oh, like it seems like you need to calm down a little bit. And the kids are, they're laughing, they're enjoying it, they know she's playing. So then we'll be like, all right, sometimes when you have these big feelings, like feeling sad, we could take some deep breaths. So then we get an opportunity to go through some deep breathing exercises. Then
Mhm.
we'll go and do an excited one, an excited dance. And then we'll be like, all right, like sometimes you feel really excited. And if you need to calm down, here's something you can do. So we go through like four big emotions like anger, sadness, excitement, and being happy. And then that brings us all the way over to empathy. Sometimes your friends are going to have these feelings. Well, you don't. And what do you do when your friend has these big feelings? Because it doesn't mean that you have to feel them, but it means that, hey, like maybe you know what that feels like and you could be there for them. Maybe you could show them the power of your breath. Maybe you can, just be there and listen to them. So it gives all of this play just gives us this opportunity to reflect on bigger things that are going on. So that's just, one of the many games that involves it's a little bit more theater with the assembly, where with a workshop it's they don't want to see a bunch of 20 somethings and 35-year-olds like, hey guys, choose kindness. Like you got to know your audience.
Right. Cater to the age levels. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's but it's fun. It's engaging for all the students, and even we try to get as many faculty members up there too, because if the kids see these, the faculty members that they're around all the time and they're like, oh, like they vouch, like they're up there, it's cool, like, it helps with buy-in for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where are you guys? I think you mentioned that you're located in New Jersey, but what
Yeah.
schools can contact you to book? Like
Uh
specifically in New Jersey, or because you said you were doing Florida, and like is it open for the whole entire United States to book with you, or
I will tell you, I'm open to the universe. It's yeah, so we're based out of New Jersey. That's like our home base. Our crew is all over the state really. So, we've kind of got our members who are going to sign up for more North Jersey ones, and then we've got South Jersey and West Jersey. So our crew is kind of all over the place. So, but doesn't mean that we're only limited to this state. Like I said before, we're working on establishing more in Long Island. We want to start getting bookings in Staten Island because it's not too far from us. Um, and then we've done like longer trips where we had a whole week of programming in Florida last year, and we're hoping to do that again this year. So it's really we're open to go wherever anyone wants this sort of program, and we're always working on just kind of adding more to it to add a little bit more value to it. Like I we've I'll tell you that like we've had such success over the past 10 years with just coming to your school. We do the program for the hour, and then saying, hey, we've got more like we could go to a school every year and have something brand new for students to see. But we want to start building outside of that now. We want to start saying, how can we be present in a school even if we're not there? So that's providing a lot of like teacher resources
Mhm.
and building curriculums that we would love to start sharing, so that the what we've got going on in our assemblies aren't all we have going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. Like once
Yeah.
you visit, you leave them like what word am I looking for? You leave them
We're just calling them like resources, like
yeah, resources so that they can continue kind of guiding the kids with what you've taught.
exactly. Yeah. Like last week we launched our first our teachers pay teachers. It's like if anyone I don't know if everyone knows this, but it's basically like it's basically like the Amazon.com, like a giant online marketplace for teachers to go and buy lesson plans and worksheets and all these different things because anyone in the teaching world knows that that stuff takes so much time
Yeah.
to create. So last week we launched it and we're actually I have it right over here. we did this it's a kindness passport, random act of
Oh,
kindness passport. So
cool.
yeah, teachers can print it out and it guides you through a 5-day week of different random acts of kindness that you could do for people. So it's one of these things where we're just like, like we got to keep the message going. We got to keep the kindness flowing because the world needs a lot more of it, to be honest
Hmm.
with you.
And what
So
did you say that was called?
this is our random acts of kindness passport.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can people find that on your website or?
Yeah, so if they go, our website is predominantly right now, like if you want to book us, go over to the website. Like that stuff's over there. But like the best way to kind of see what's going on with us is really through our Instagram, our Facebook, and our TikTok. That is where we're just like we're there every day,
Okay.
constantly letting people know what's going on.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah,
Cool. And speaking of music, music
yeah.
plays a really big role in mental health. So, what is your favorite genre of music and what is your current favorite song?
Okay. So this so when I told you before on my big list of things that I had to do today, this was probably the thing that I focused most on because I was just like, I don't know. I never enjoyed this question because I just love so much music.
Yeah,
Like I don't have a favorite genre.
that's what
I
Stacy
love
said
like
too.
did she yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Like I mean, I've grown up like loving like rock, classic rock, punk, power pop, and then a lot of world music I'm into, and like Zam rock. Like I started like discovering this like psychedelic music from the 70s out of Zambia in Africa, and it's like it's
Oh,
amazing. Like it's the
wow.
coolest stuff I've ever heard. So that like I can't swing myself into one like genre. But I'll tell you, my favorite song right now is Abracadabra by Lady Gaga because it's
Oh
just
my
like
gosh. I love that.
I'm literally just like dancing around my house. My wife is kind of getting sick of it, and I'll just be it's yeah. So
I
and if
love
she
that.
hears this podcast and hears me singing it, she wouldn't be surprised.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's my my musical taste right there.
Cool. So you mentioned that people can follow you guys on social media, but what is your um, username?
Oh, so lead U's username is lead underscore U underscore. So if you just put in lead U and just look for the little blue whale, I don't know if this goes to video.
It
Um,
does.
yeah, so there's a little blue whale, looks a lot like this blue whale. And that's how you'll find us. So we've got a lot of cool things going on, and this is like our year. We're taking a lot of big swings this year. We're putting out some merch pretty soon.
Oh,
I
cool.
helped design, and Shauna, our marketing coordinator, designed a bunch of it. We've got the Teachers Pay Teachers store. We've got, and we're expanding our booking like beyond anything we've ever done before. So it's going to be I like to call it like wild stress where it's good. Like I love being busy. Like it's one of the things that just helps me kind of like keep myself coordinated and like on time for things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's going to be an exciting year for us.
Awesome. And is there anything that I didn't mention that you'd like to talk about?
Is there anything that I don't know? To be honest, I I thought I wasn't going to talk a lot, but I feel like I just talked nonstop this whole time. I just
It
want to
was
address the
great
fact
though.
that I'm very sorry for talking too much.
No, 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 no. The
Um,
more you talk, the better the episode, honestly.
cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I can't think of anything. And maybe our someone from SPTS will let me know that you didn't say the thing. But I guess one thing that I would like to add is LeadU is just a program of SPTS. And you talked to Stacy before, and SPTS stands for the Society for the Prevention of Teen Suicide. It's just a lot of words, so we try to break it down.
Hmm.
So we're one program that they offer. So if anyone is interested in going beyond what just LeadU is and you say, let's say you have uh, so you have other concerns, other needs within your school community or within even your organization. We are a great organization to come to. If you are a parent and you're trying to help your kid out, we have programs that go with that. But like if you want lead you, we've got that going on too. Like we have we are the upstream side of SPTS. So we are the side that is really in the prevention side as far as trying to get to people before bigger issues start to arise.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This was really awesome.
So I talked and talked and talked. I did want to know a little bit about some of these concerts that you put on because that's like my JD and I like we kind of got started with the whole like events and stuff by setting up these big fundraisers through concerts because I played in bands forever. So I was just like, oh, like we kind of come from a similar world, I feel like.
Yeah, that is really cool. The first one I had, it was scheduled for 2020, but then with COVID, it got postponed until 2022. It was in
Cool.
Wilmington, Delaware. And I had a couple local artists, and then I had one of the guys from MKTO, and then a girl that was on American Idol, Margie Mays.
Nice.
And that was really fun. And I kind of was like one and done. I didn't think about doing another one, but then more people kept asking to do another one. So then I did another one in Boston, which is where I'm from.
Okay.
So we did one there in 2023. And then I was never going to do another one again. And then we just did the one in Orlando in January. I
I
think,
saw you're all over like where that's why I started by asking where are you? Because I can't
yeah, I
tell.
just bouncing around all the
Yeah.
states. Um, because my friend did a fan convention there and she booked the other guy from MKTO, and I was
Okay.
like, I wonder if they would do like reunite for a concert. So then I reached out and they did want to. So I flew down to Orlando and we did that. And it was really fun
Nice.
and there was a really good turnout. I think mostly because of MKTO because they've been broken up for like 5 years. This was their first comeback. So that was really exciting. And it was so successful that I decided I say this is going to be the last one, but like my track record was saying that isn't so good. But the plan is to have this be the last one because I wanted to bring it's Drew Seeley, MKTO, and Johnny, and it's the same lineup as Orlando, but I wanted to bring them home. So Philly World Cafe Live on May 17th, and you guys are all welcome to come. I would love to have you.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't been to the World Cafe in a long time. It's such a cool venue.
It is. It's going to
Are you
be
the
in the
downstairs?
lounge,
The
the
yeah,
upstairs one. Yeah, which is a
it's
really
such a cool
cool
area.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I think, yeah, and it's also, I'm thinking of like the way that you keep saying it's the last one. Is like I feel like that's what the Eagles do every time they go on tour. They're like, "This is the last time, guys. We promise. This is it. Like, buy your tickets now."
Yeah.
It's it's a great way to sell tickets. I like that.
I think it's because the first two were very difficult, in the sense of I would book musicians and then they would cancel due to whatever reason. I was
Right.
very lucky with the Orlando show. I was just in a text with Malcolm and Tony, and then I had a separate text with Drew. And in like 4 days, they were like, yeah, let's do it. But previous shows, it took up to like 6 months to book all the artists because I was working with agents and the response time is very delayed. So I really got lucky with the last two.
Yeah, just having the artist directly and being like, "Are you in? Or are you out?" Oh yeah, we're
Yes.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It made it so much simpler. Yeah.
I uh I I know the stress that you have been under. I feel like just booking my own shows for however many years that I've been in bands, it could be such a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
a lot of work.
yeah, but the payoff is huge. It's huge. Like
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
that's all.
excited about this show. I think it's going to be the best one yet. So
I think the Eagles say that too. When's this concert?
May 17th, Saturday, May 17th.
Cool. I'm gonna put it on a post-it and then it's gonna make its way to my calendar.
Awesome.
All right. Well, it was really nice getting to talk to you for a while, and thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much.
When can I expect to see this on Spotify?
So this is going to come out May 18th. I mean, not May, sorry, March. So
March 8th.
Stacy's episode will come out on Tuesday, and then yours will be 2 weeks later on the 18th, March 18th.
18th. Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, you too.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Our website is holdontildawn.com and our email is holdontildawn@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at holdontildawn and on Facebook at Hold On Till Dawn Benefit Concert. See you next time.